everyone, my name is KryptoCal, and welcome to the next episode of All the Mods 9. In the last episode, we went ahead and set up this entire bee setup here, fully automated. All the resources are coming in, being centrifuged and sent into the smelter, and automatically into our storage system. So we actually have quite a few resources now coming in automatically. Good job, Grace.
Thank you.
We've done it.
Look at the wannabes. There's 3 withers. Though I will say, all the bees are upgraded, and there are some there are block upgrades in all the hives. If you take a look in all the hives, every single one of them has the block upgrade. All of the ones have simulation upgrades, but with the exception of the wannabes that are farming the withers right now, they have a productivity gamma and 2 productivity betas, because the productivity gamma also functions as a simulation upgrade, which is kind of nice.
And I'm pretty sure the one up from that also functions as a block upgrade.
Yeah, so eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to get those more widely spread. They're just kind of expensive, so I wasn't wanting to invest in that so quickly.
Yeah, so we dumped all of our upgrades initially into the draconic bees. That's the one that'll be the bottleneck for all of the block upgrades. Each block upgrade requires one of the productivity betas, which requires all the previous tiers of upgrades. But also, if you're looking at getting the block upgrade, you have to have the draconic chunks, 4 of them per upgrade, and each chunk is 9 dust. So we had to get quite a bit of production going for the draconic bee. But once we had this one upgraded, it all came together pretty quick. And I'm pretty sure we have
a lot of draconic chunks right now. Oh, we are at thousands. 2,000 roughly.
Also, in between episodes, I have been doing a bunch of work on terraforming, and I know it's such a thankless job, but what I've done is effectively I've flattened my mountain down to a point, and I think this is going to be the Y level that I want to build or start building my big project on. I also have terraformed all the edges, and we're not going to talk about what's around the back because that doesn't exist. There's nothing around the back. It's actually completed, but it's just really not worth looking at, so I don't want to bore you guys with all the terraforming back there.
Don't believe him. Don't do it. He deceives you.
So now that we have the finished apiary up there with the bees already automated, I think it's going to be kind of cool to keep filling it because it's one of the main builds that we have right now, and it's got a lot of empty space, which we do have plans for some of, but we want to fill it with as much cool and functional things as we can. And one of those things that we're going to be filling it with is a mystical agriculture resource generation setup. Now, just before we get quite into that, though, I do want to get a couple of quality of life things to help us kind of keep not having to keep worrying about coming all the way back to storage to access all of our items while we're over at the apiary. And so there's a couple things that I want to get into here. First, there is the advanced wireless transmitter. Now, there is the normal wireless transmitter from Refined Storage. Unfortunately, this one here only allows you to have access to your storage up to 64 blocks away, which is helpful. We're kind of working on a bit of a larger scale here, and our distances between builds is a little further, so we're actually going to need a little bit more range than that. Now, thankfully, the Reborn Storage add-on mod adds the advanced wireless transmitter, and this one actually gives you, I think, access up to 1,000 blocks away from the storage, which I think will cover most of our area in the valley. Obviously, this won't be a cross-dimensional solution for now, but once we have a little more power, we can get into that, because the problem is the dimensional card, which you can upgrade the normal transmitter with, I'm pretty sure requires a absolute ton of power to run, like 8,000 RF per tick, which we just simply don't have right now. So I think the advanced wireless one will be a good in-between point for now. So we're going to have to craft up that and then also craft up the wireless crafting grid. But to start off here, we first have to craft the normal wireless transmitter, which we can do. I'll put this in my inventory so we can get the quest reward. And we have to craft up one of these raw super advanced processors, which just takes an extra netherite ingot here, so we can grab one of those. Let's grab a few of them, actually. We're probably going to use them at some point. Throw them in the smelter, and then that'll be the advanced transmitter completed. Now, this does require some extra power to run. I don't know how much exactly, so let's go down here and double check. Why is the elevator not working?
You did it wrong. Oh, I know why. There's an Enderman down here. He placed a grass block on the elevator.
There's no way.
I'm dead serious. That's so funny. That's incredible. I appreciate that.
Anyway, let's see what that power is going to cost us now. So let's go and plug in our wireless transmitter here. If we check our controller here, how much power is this using? 100 FE per tick. That's not terrible, actually. We can more than sustain that with our, I added a couple extra basic generators down here, so that should be plenty. And we do get 1,000 block range with this, which is going to be awesome. Crafting grid, and finally our wireless crafting grid. And this will let us to access our refined storage system from pretty much anywhere around the base. And it can go in a curio slot for us to be able to access with a key. So we can actually keybind this to something, which I will do. and access this kind of from wherever we want. Now, the only thing that this is actually going to require us to have is also some power. Now, we could probably keep this charged up by just every once in a while coming back and putting it in the charger. I think it might actually be better to find a way to wirelessly charge ourselves so that we can keep the wireless crafting grid always charged all the time, because you're not going to want to come back and throw that thing in the charger every once in a while, are you?
No, it's kind of annoying.
So to get ourselves wireless charging a little bit early on, we could use a couple different mods. One of them is a pretty good one, which is going to be Flux Networks. We do actually have a couple of things from Flux Networks already that we could use. I think we ended up getting these from quest rewards and stuff. But the thing that you're going to want to make here is the Flux Controller, which enables wireless charging on the Flux Networks, which I think might be a good solution for us considering we have all the stuff. Now, we're going to dive into Flux Networks in a little more detail and probably make use of it a lot more in the future. But for now, it's just going to be a great way for us to keep ourselves wirelessly charged. This will work for both me and Grace. So we could probably both have ourselves on the exact same network and it'll charge both of our stuff at the same time. So we're going to want to have, in this case, one Flux plug. What we're going to do is just put a Flux plug right here. So by default, you can click on that and it doesn't actually have anything going on. But what you can do is you can come inside here, hit create new network, and we're going to call this something like power network. So I'll go ahead and make this network public. That means that both you and I can access the network wherever we are. And I'm going to make it purple because I like purple.
The access is being denied. Why am I denied?
So you should be able to click it now. How the plugs work is they add energy to your network. So basically, if you have like a generator or some sort of reactor, they're going to add power to your plug and add it to your network. And if you put a point on something, that's going to provide power to that thing you put the point on. So in this case, we have only a plug. That means that we're only having power come into our network, which we can then use to wirelessly charge ourselves by using this right here, which is going to get a little cluttered down here. I don't want to talk about this. This is getting a little messy, but this is our
it's fine.
This is our Flux controller, and we're going to turn this and set this to our power network. And the important part about this is the wireless charging. So we want this to enable wireless charging on all of our curio slots, and we'll say also in the hotbar slots as well. So I think this should be affecting both me and you. There you go. So now you're added as a user on this power network. But anyway, if you take your wireless crafting grid, you have to shift right click on the controller, I believe is how you set it. So then that should auto charge now if it's in your hotbar. So now what you can do is you can put that in your curio slot. There's a grid slot. If you scroll down a bit, it's called the grid slot. Now what I normally do is I set a keybind for it. I usually use tab for that. And now we should have, we have access to all of our storage. So now you can dump items into the storage and grab them from wherever you are around the base.
That's kind of incredible. Oh, wait. You have to show the audience. This is Knees. He just lives here.
He's also a very fast horse. He's got...
Yeah, he goes, man. I am zooming, but also I have to be careful that he gets back underneath of it because he doesn't like daylight very much.
I understand.
He's been set on fire so many times. This poor guy. He's had so many potions of instant damage to heal him.
So I think we're ready to jump into some more mystical agriculture. We already did a little bit of mystical early on to get that honey seed, so we're going to do obviously much more of that in the future. And I think it's time that we dive in to get all of those resources generating automatically, because that's going to make adding to our bee system even more efficient. We're going to have so many resources coming in, it's going to be crazy. Do you like hold it with your eye while you're clapping? Anyway, there's a bunch of ways you can farm mystical agriculture here, and I just have one of the setups that I've used in the past that I'm going to probably be doing. Mystical comes with all of its own different farm tiers, like the farmland tiers, which all grow crops faster and faster the higher tier the farmland you put them on. But surprisingly, the Farming for Blockheads mod adds a material called red fertilizer, which actually speeds up growth of crops quite a bit. And we're going to pair that with the lily pads of fertility to create the most broken and overpowered resource production farm pretty much in the entire pack. Now, this isn't my design for the mystical farm. I'm pretty sure this one was made by Alfred GG. I think he's the original creator of this exact setup. I'm not sure if it'll be the exact same one that he does because I'm not really following any sort of tutorial, but just wanted to give a shout out there just in case anyone wants to go and check that out. I'm sure he has a tutorial on his channel about how to do this exactly. So effectively what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a layer at the bottom that's going to be covered in the lily pads of fertility. And that's because the lily pads of fertility have a certain working range, which effectively lets you get a couple layers of seeds in by using only one row of these lily pads. So what we're going to do is just kind of count out 4 blocks here, and we're going to make a little 9x9 internal area. And then we're going to go ahead and just fill this all in with water. Now there is going to be one spot in the middle that we don't have any lily pad because we were going to have to add in the layer of farmland, I believe, on this layer right here, because we have to make sure that we give one block underneath with lily pads. So we'll go ahead and just make this area right here, and that's going to be where we're going to plant our first layer of the seeds. Now, before we get into getting all the lily pads in and having the seeds put in, we actually have to have seeds to plant. Oh, actually, it might fit right in the corner. All right, well, this is our normal mystical setup that we had before. But we're going to want to kind of have this automated because we're going to be making a lot of seeds, and doing it manually is going to be a little annoying. My solution to that hopefully will be by using modular routers to do this. We're going to go ahead and probably put these in just like so. What we're going to have is the lowest modular router here. We're going to have this configured to always send the prosperity seeds to the middle. So I have this sender module, basically meaning that I'm going to send everything from this modular router from here to wherever I select. So I'm going to select the infusion altar, put it inside of the modular router. So now if I put in the prosperity seeds, we should see it send 1.
Oh, that was weird.
Now, one thing we're also going to do is we're going to basically place a drawer down, which will be the way that we're going to stock this whole system with the seeds. So we're going to put all the prosperity seeds in there. So you put the puller module inside here. We can configure this to pull from the front. So it'll always try and grab prosperity seeds from the front. So even if we go ahead and grab a bunch off of here, we should see that this always keeps stocked with 64 prosperity seeds, and they get grabbed from this front drawer. The next one, we're going to want to send basically 4 resources to 4 of the pedestals. With all of the seed recipes, it's always one type of essence and then that material. Yeah, so what we're going to do basically is have 2 sender modules, and it's going to select 4 of these for one type. Oh, wait. I may be wrong there. Hold.
Did you lie to me?
We have to craft this, the distributor module. There we go. So we need one of these to send to 4. And the other one will send to the other 4. Basically, these 2 drawers here, once I have configured, you will put the essence in one drawer and the material in the other drawer, and that will let them to be automatically crafted into the correct seed. All of these are going to be configured to pull from the front. Now, we don't want to lock these drawers. Obviously, we want these to be whatever material that we put inside them. The one that we can lock, though, is the prosperity seed. That'll always be prosperity, pretty much. And finally, the last one is going to be the easiest one. It's just going to basically grab whatever resulting material comes into the altar here and puts it inside of the router up there. Now, the only caveat to that is we have to make sure that we blacklist the prosperity seeds because we don't want it to keep pulling prosperity seeds out over and over. We want it to wait until there's actually a different seed there to grab. So let's go and put that inside here.
And that's why we have the barrel for the varying seed types, right?
Yeah. So that's why if you have like multiple seeds at a time, that's why I usually put a barrel up there. And then we have a sender module, which will send everything to the front. So this is effectively the entire setup. This is a working auto crafter setup for all the seed types. So let's just do an example run here. Let's just try an iron seed. I think they take 4 iron ingots and tertium essence. I haven't done too much crafting of mystical stuff. We have plenty of the inferium at least.
Insanium seems difficult to get, but it sounds like we need it for the Nether Star production, which you've said is pretty essential for the star.
Unironically though, mystical it's good for pretty much everything. Nether stars, it is not good for. Anyway, let's just try and craft up an iron seed and see if it works. Do you want to do the honors? Take
Sure.
the essence and the iron and get her going. It's working.
Lasers.
It's working. Okay, so the only thing that I'm missing is a redstone signal. I'm thinking maybe we'll just put the link in the bottom, put it on the bottom here, and we'll set this to the prosperity seed. And that should start the craft once I flip this lever. It worked. There we go. An iron seed. We have iron. Let's try a different one.
Which one would you recommend?
Well, first of all, we can do a bunch of resource generation, like iron and gold and all that general stuff. The other thing that is going to be really important for us to get is an absolute ton of insanium essence. So we're going to need a lot of inferium. So
We have a lot of inferium.
No, we
have
don't.
So much.
No, we don't. You
We have like
you think we do.
10.1k blocks.
You think that's a
and
lot. Yeah,
90,000 essence.
I
What
wish
do you mean?
I wish I could tell you that was a lot. Unfortunately, it's not. I'm kind of curious to
some.
show you how much insanium we have currently here, just after all of this, just to show you how little we have in comparison. And the way to do that, if I'm not mistaken, is we have to craft up the Master Infusion Crystal.
Oh, there's an Insanium bee. How do you make that?
Probably pretty expensive, actually, the Insanium bee.
Takes an Insanium block to pollinate it, which is crazy. Are you crafting it all down, or what's happening?
I'm working on it, yeah. And this, and this. Wait, I misjudged how much I needed.
I took a calculated risk, but boy, am I bad at math.
All right, finally. The Master Infusion Crystal. Basically, it just lets you craft up any tier of essence you want.
It's an unlimited use.
And it's unlimited uses, so it's just you can just spam it. So now I'm
That's
just
crazy.
converting most of our Infurium here into all the higher tiers. Want to know how much Insanium we have?
Yeah.
We have 9 blocks.
9 blocks. That's atrocious. I've never been more disgusted.
The Insanium essence, we need 4 blocks per creative essence, which we need 18 of for the star. So that's 18 times 4 for that recipe.
Oh.
And then we also need it for a lot of the Aldomodium seeds and stuff.
So what I'm hearing is I should have been saving every last single scrap of that stuff.
We also need, oh, wait, but I didn't even see that part. Not only do we need 4 Insanium blocks per creative essence, we also need to get 4 Insanium gemstone blocks, which require 9 Insanium gemstones per block, which is 36 gemstones, which require 2 essence each.
Yeah, I understand somewhat why it's called Insanium. Can you not make like Insanium seeds instead of the base ones, or?
No, you can only craft it up into the higher tiers using the crafting recipe here. Now, the bees do give an Insanium comb, which can be centrifuged for a 10% chance of 1 Insanium essence.
That's actually not bad, though. That's actually fast.
So that could be also a viable alternative. To craft the Insanium bee egg, we have to first get a bunch of Actually, we have that much Insanium already, but we need to get all the lower tiers of bees first.
Are we getting another bee? I'm on it, team.
All right, so normally I do a bunch of, I said do. If we're going to try and do the Prosperity Bee and then get all the higher tiers of the essences from the bee, then I think we might end up skipping the Infurium and just kind of go for some basic resource production straight off the bat. Now, I'm going to put the Lily Pads of Fertility in first because obviously they have to go in the lower floor and they're easier to put in at the beginning.
What did they do exactly? I actually don't know.
Essentially, they're just like quick growers of crops and they all stack. So if they're within range of the lily pad's working area, they can all kind of compound together to basically almost instant grow seeds.
Ooh, that's kind of crazy. Wow.
So we're going to go ahead and lay out the 9x9 of dirt up here. So to actually harvest the materials, there's this harvester pylon. It's the same mod that has the pylon that stopped all those mob spawns while we were in the other.
I see. Yep.
It's just a pretty simple harvester. It just harvests in a configurable area, so we can configure this to work in a 9x9, which is kind of the reason that we do a 9x9 here. It's easy to harvest that way. And it does require a hoe inside of its inventory to use to harvest it.
Interesting.
But we can use an Aldomodium hoe because they are indestructible. So that will be an infinite way that we can kind of supply that with enough hoe power. That was a terrible way to say that.
Honestly, same, bestie, same.
And then what we're going to do is just take an ender chest, which will be our way of moving all the essence around. We'll give it a green signal because plants, I guess. And then we have to give this some hoe.
Give it some hoe?
We have to add some water here too to keep it hydrated, I guess. And you can waterlog the pylon, which is cool. So.
Oh, that is cool.
All right, there we go. That's our farmland. Just as a demonstration here, I'll just put down a little bit of this Infurium and you can watch the magic happen.
Oh, wow. It grows so fast.
Where it starts to actually get pretty nuts is we can now take this red fertilizer and apply this to every piece of farmland, which will further increase the speed of the plant growth. This should go even faster. Basically, you can use this for every resource in the game. Yeah, so we won't use the Infurium as of now, but basically we can put the iron seed down now, and the iron seed will start converting into the iron essence. 8 iron essence, we can craft that in a circle and make 6 iron ingots, and that's just 1 seed. What about a gold seed? Put it into our crafter, turn it on, there it goes. Gold seed completed. Boop. So we're going to have to deal with this before we start putting more and more seeds in here. For now, I just have one of these crafters. You can basically fill them with a certain recipe, and any inputs that it gets that can make that recipe happen, it'll just auto-craft it automatically. And it can do up to 8 recipes per crafter. Now, the only thing that's a little bit annoying with these is they can be pretty power hungry, and we're a little bit low on our overall power production right now. But the mod also includes this thing called a machine infuser. Like any machine from the RF Tools mod, you can infuse with the dimensional shards. You know, these ones here, the blue ones?
Yep, I remember those. They glow as an ore form.
Yeah, so basically if you infuse them, they work naturally faster, and they also require less power.
Oh, cool.
To run. So basically we want to kind of infuse this with the dimensional shards up to 100%. We'll put the ender chest right here, give this the green dye, so that is perfect. All right, so this crafter is now at its max efficiency, we could say. It's going to require a little bit of power. We'll give it some power from the back here. Now we just can go ahead and set the recipes inside of the crafter. In the first slot, we can add in the iron like this and hit apply. And now we can see there's one recipe in there to craft 6 iron ingots out of all the essence. You see like the slot here where I have all the dirt in here now?
Yeah.
That's basically where if you're piping resources into the crafter, that's where they show up in there.
Okay.
So the problem is sometimes you can get it so that you have way too much of one type so that it can clog itself up by accident. So to get around that, what I normally do is I'll just, depending on how many resources I have, I'll just basically have dirt in all the slots I'm not using. And then I'll put iron essence, for example, in the first slot. And then if you hit you see the little R button there?
Yep.
That stands for remember. So now you hit the remember button. So now it'll only accept that item in that slot. If I take our item importer and interface, give it ourselves a variable card, and turn this on, look at that. Now we have instant auto crafting of iron. We can do gold as well. There we go. So now we have gold.
Oh, it's going. Wow. What about all this fertilized essence?
So that's what we're going to have to deal with now. One way around that will just be to probably have a trash can that only accepts
that stuff
because we're never actually going to use it. We'll have it whitelist for the fertilized essence. That cleared that out. So that is effectively how we're going to craft every single resource from Mystical. There are a couple exceptions to that rule though. For example, there is the wood essence. Wood essence can be used to craft pretty much any vanilla log.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that's going to be something that we're going to want to have in storage in like a drawer, that we can then set up other auto crafts to craft whatever log we want to craft up. So there are some resources that we're going to basically bypass the crafters altogether and go straight into our storage. Okay, so we went ahead and I got a couple more seeds crafted up here. I have a few of these basic ones like the dye seeds, and what I have them going into is this drawer wall in the back here. So all of these raw essence, I guess you could say, are going right into the ender chest. The seeds that I currently have are iron, gold, amethyst, redstone, copper, diamond, netherite, and obsidian. And obviously we can expand these to have multiple seeds of one type if we really, really need a bunch of one type of resource. But I think for now, 1 or 2 seeds of each is going to be more than sufficient. Now that we have that all set up, Grace went ahead and crafted up what she needs to have the Prospera bee.
This is the Prospera bee. And if I am not mistaken, if I put 1, 2, 3, we're gonna get the Inferium bee spawn egg, and this will make the next stage. Ta-da! And then we got the next one. We can go even further. We're almost there. You ready for this? Boom. We have the Insanium bee.
So looking ahead at trying to upgrade some of our beehives with the productivity omega upgrades, we're going to need quite a few Heart of the Seas. The nice thing is we can also craft the Heart of the Seas up using a bunch of essences from Mystical. Now, to get the essence from different mobs, it's actually a little bit different than how you get the essence from the resource seeds. What you have to do is actually go ahead and craft up one of these daggers, the Solium dagger, which can either be hostile or passive attuned. And basically, you can fill up these soul jars with the essence of whatever mob you kill. What we're going to be looking at getting instead of doing that killing of all the mobs manually is getting something called the soul extractor. Yeah, so for example, what you can do is you can put ink sacs into the soul extractor and it'll actually start to fill the soul jar up that way instead. And to make the squid seeds, we need 4 full jars of the soul essence of the squid. Put one of these inside of the soul extractor and that should start to do its thing. And this is pretty slow. Yeah, there are some upgrades we can craft here that will actually speed up the machine speeds. So let's see how much of this I can actually craft. Let's go ahead and place in the Supremium speed upgrade. And now that is infinitely faster. We do have to make sure that the seed base isn't going to be the prosperity seed like we've been using. It actually requires a special seed called the solium seed. All right, and here's our squid seed ready to go. We can actually go ahead and now place this and let this start to grow up. But we do need to grab a little bit of cod because that's what's going to craft up our fish seeds. So we can go ahead and do the exact same thing as last time. And that should start crafting. That should be it. So now we should be able to effectively craft up all the ingredients that we need to craft Heart of the Seas. If I want to craft a Heart of the Sea up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have as many Hearts of the Seas as we want now. Okay, so it is the next real life day, and a couple things have been going on while we were kind of just hanging around and working around the base here. Grace has been working hard on this beautiful white tree here. I'm not sure exactly what the plans are for the leaves. I think you're still working on that, right?
I'm still working on it.
So whether they be actual
naked.
normal green leaves or some beautiful colored version is yet to be seen. But apart from that, Grace also went ahead and decided to, without telling me, craft up the awakened pedestal setup because she wanted the symmetry, which I can't get behind. I do agree that symmetry is good. So what we're going to do is probably have the awakening setup here that we're going to end up using probably in the future on this side, just to make the whole thing look prettier. So I ended up moving the crafting station here for all of our seeds into the middle, and now the central pillar here actually has our drawers. So yeah, we're going to put the awakening setup here. So we're just going to throw the pedestals, the essence vessels. Now each one of these essence vessels has to contain the different element. So the seeds that we're growing over here for that, which are the earth, air, fire, and water seeds, those are going to all be kind of converted into that extra essence that we can then, I think you could even just take the essence straight and put it inside. We actually have quite a bit of the essence, so I can show really quick here. So we can fill these just with the essence itself. So we have quite a bit of it. And there's obviously ways that we could automate the filling of the pedestals, but that's kind of how we're going to go about doing the awakening in the first place. And then we put other materials that we're going to be using on the pedestals. We can try awakening something, I guess. I don't really know.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Oh, you already have a plan here. I see.
You better believe I do. I was wanting to start making things for the start.
You've done it.
We have a portal to the Twilight Forest.
All right, well, I think we're going to take a break from all of this amazing automation we've got done this episode, and we're going to finish the episode off with a bit of another boss adventure. This time, we're going to be taking a look at the Cataclysm mod. Now, I absolutely love Cataclysm. I think the bosses and the actual design of this mod is super, super cool. We're not going to get into all of it, obviously, today. It's quite a process. There's lots to get through, and I don't want to kind of run through it all really fast. I'd like to kind of maybe do a little bit at a time. Every episode you can do maybe a boss or something like that going forward. I think the first step that we're going to be looking at is going to be the Nether to fight a boss called the Netherite Monstrosity. And he drops a hammer, which is a weapon called a Infernal Forge. The Infernal Forge is what we actually need to upgrade using the this mechanical fusion to get the Void Forge. And the Void Forge is used in making the Wither's Compass, which of course is one of the recipe components for the star. So we're going to need to make quite a few of these Void Forges, 18 actually to be exact. So there's a good chance we're going to have to farm all the resources in a different way besides just going around and killing them all. So what we're going to go ahead and do is probably go ahead and locate the Netherite Monstrosity, take a good look at him, and then probably try and figure out a way to farm him. And that's either going to be done using our wannabes that we have because, well, again, we already have them, so that's going to be a little bit easier to set up. And there's other ways that we could go about farming the drops using the Drigmees from Ars Nouveau, which we could get into in a little bit, but I figure because we already have the wannabes, we might as well make use of them as well. Well, you ready to go on an adventure, Grace?
Oh, I missed you.
Did I just witness an assassination attempt?
Yeah, it was going to be funny too.
All right, well, let's head to the Nether and see if we can locate this boss. So the structure that we're looking for, I believe, if we type in Cataclysm, is called the Soul Blacksmith, I believe. Yeah, the Soul Blacksmith, I think, is what we're going to be looking for. And if we right-click to locate, there is one 2,000 blocks away, which actually isn't all that bad. Look at this poor lad. I don't know what curse of luck spawned him on that one block.
We're going to take a selfie.
You know what? I kind of feel... I kind of feel bad.
No. This is his punishment.
The structure is right here, the Soul Forge. Well, yeah, that's Soul Forge.
That's kind of sick. Yo, love that. Oh, oh.
And there is the Netherite Monstrosity.
I made a mistake.
He's a large dude.
He's a very large dude.
He's angry.
He's spitting. He's spitting straight fire.
He's got 15,000 HP.
That's a lot of health, man. Can you not?
Yoink.
Oh, entangled.
He might be strong, but he's not stronger than a random cube. It's going to make the boss battles a little boring because it's just going to matter of grabbing them to farm them for later. But Grace, do you want to go ahead and maybe look and do one more? Maybe we can go to the end and get the golem also boxed up. Because if we get both of them, then we can maybe use one wannabe setup to have like a feeding slab so that it can be farming both of their drops at the same time.
I would like to make them both cubes.
Ooh, some decent gems. This is actually a good place to get some of the apotheosis gems. Oh, I found the ender golem. Is he right here? Oh, yeah, here he is. Come here.
Okay, very
he
good.
Is safe and secure.
Instant jail. Jail.
I smack. But my attack speed is actually insanely high. I don't even know why.
Oh, okay.
I did it. I have the void core. I don't even know why. I feel like my attack speed shouldn't be this high. Anyway, now I have 2 void cores.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Well, I'm gonna leave you to this. Goodbye.
Oh, I'm just gonna leave.
Come here. Come here. Let me discuss this with you.
Mom doesn't love you.
I'm gonna discuss this with you.
Oh,
There appears to be a 3-way brawl. It's actually hilarious how they're not caring about us at all now. They're just mad at each other. It's a 1v1 right now, and it looks like the Ender Guardian is losing. Get in there, buddy.
Such a sad image.
Don't hurt our bee, please.
A bee in the face of this guy.
Ah.
Oh, he did it. Look
worked.
at him go. Okay, get over there. Get
him,
buddy.
boys. I never play with the amber bees, but I'm starting to... Oh, there he goes. I'm starting to really like these guys.
Get him. Look at him go.
Okay, so the issue we were having was the feeding slab with the amber wasn't working. As soon as I switched it out to have one type of mob only, it has been working much, much better. For example, here we now have an absolute ton of these void cores. This is actually going to be enough This is actually enough void cores for what we're going to need for the entire pack. So all we have to do now is put in the last one, which is the netherite monstrosity.
So cute. Look at him. He and I are friends. Yeah.
All right, Grace went ahead and fought a wither with the mystical enlightenment. So now we have enough stuff to make our first block of awakened supremium.
Cal, I am going to make a bee for this stuff, for the awakened supremium, because it's the only thing the cognizant dust is used for, and you can't farm the cognizant dust in any other way.
Well, that's a lot of progression we got done today. So we got a lot of mystical stuff done, and we got a lot done with the farming of the resources and also the awakened setup we have over here now. All right, well, I think that's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. But that's it from me, everybody. I hope you all have a good one, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.